Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out XDC's price chart. And if you remember, the last time that we talked about XDC network, we were actually all the way down around these areas. And the idea was that our move down is going to continue a bit more in order for us to reach to about maybe the lower band of this region around, let's say 5.7 cents. And at that point, we are going to have a very important moment of decision time for XDC. Why? Because we said if we get a break of this thing, at that point under here, we really do not have a whole lot of strong support until where? Until about 25% lower around this region between 4.4 to about 4.7 cents. And thank God that we got a decent bounce back from this area. And in here, I'm actually able to identify some optimistic signs. You see, in terms of Elliott waves, if you want to argue that we have hit our final low, then okay, off of the lowest low, you need to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up in terms of Elliott waves. And when you go on the live chart, and maybe let's go on H4 time frame, you realize that okay, we have probably completed the subwaves for a beautiful looking 1, 2, and then probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into wave 3, correction for 4, and another impulse up into wave 5. So this is definitely an optimistic sign in XDC, suggesting this point can be considered, and again, this is the key word, can be considered as our final low, but it doesn't mean that we should be like 100% bullish and call for a magnificent bull run starting from the current point effective immediately. Why? Two reasons. Number one, in most cases, we are not really that lucky. So maybe we should count on a continuation of this move down a little bit. I'm going to tell you in a bit why. And number two, there is simply no certainty in any market at any given moment. We are only talking about different possibilities. So saying that in XDC we are absolutely 100% going to get a bull run doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. On the other hand, it does make sense to argue based on what we are seeing at the moment. We are looking good, and hopefully this is going to be 5 up into 1, correction for wave 2, and what's next? Let's count on a decent strong move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And as long as we are following this scenario, okay, fair enough, makes sense to be a bit optimistic. However, let's not talk certainty in here, okay? It's very important to understand. Now, what is going on in this region from this point to around the recent price action? I'm at the moment thinking about the idea of having at least an A, B, C zigzag, which the subways for it are going to look like this. 5 down into A, correction for wave B, maybe ABC, maybe WXY, maybe even a triangle. Honestly, it's not really that important. And another 5 down into C. Now let's go on the live chart and see what do we have. And for that, you need to go on 30-minute time frame, because now you can see the structures a bit better. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, followed by that, most likely this is going to be an A, and then probably like an A, B, C, running flat into wave B, and another 5 wave up into C. And what is happening here? You see, in my view, probably this is going to be a wave 1 to around this point, correction for wave 2, another move down into wave 3, and this may end up being a correction structure into wave 4, suggesting what? Well, we may see another move down into wave 5 in order to take this important low down here about 7.5 cents. But I'm here to tell you this. Even if this count is happening, odds are we are not actually going to go a whole lot lower. And for example, we can take the lows in here by like a very small margin, and then we should be a bit patient and careful and see a rather strong bounce back. And what do I mean by that? I mean a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave, generally a good move up without a lot of overlapping of the waves, in order for us to be bullish in like very short term with a bit more confidence and talk about this point being our final low, maybe with a decent degree of certainty, and say, you know what, on a higher degree, hopefully in XCC, we have completed the subwaves for an A, B, C zigzag, and from these areas, it is time to get the next phase of the bull run. So in XCC, as you can see, because in the recent bounce back off of this very important support. We are able to find an impulse followed by a correction. I think makes sense to be a bit optimistic. However, the structures in like very short term, and by that I mean this area, can be a little bit up for debate. And for now, let's not be overwhelmingly bullish. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XDC's chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.